A Wonderful Vacation. Zegen and Wonder were very close twin siblings. They loved to spend their afternoons playing and having fun. Every day was unique. Sometimes they just entertained themselves by listening to their mother's funny stories, while at other times, they preferred to run around their huge garden, their favorite place. "Hey, how about we go outside and play?" said Zegen one day after finishing all her homework. "Remember, our mother gave us a new ball. We should use it." This pleased Wonder very much. He was a very energetic child and loved to run everywhere. "That's an excellent idea. Let's not waste time," he shouted while looking for the ball. And so, the siblings went out to play. The sun was shining. Everything was full of light and butterflies. "What a beautiful day," said Zegen to her brother, who didn't stop for a second to admire the scenery. He just took his ball and started kicking it all over the garden. His sister was the quiet one, so she just laughed and ran after her brother while yelling, "Hey, that's not fair! Give me my ball back!" When Wonder heard her, he started to run faster. He loved to see how his little sister tried to catch him. "Try to take it from me," he said as he sprinted away. Zegen was shy, but cunning. She was full of ideas that would surprise any adult, so she began to think of a plan to take the ball away from her brother. "I'll chase him very calmly. That way I can take the ball away from him when he gets tired," Zegen said to herself. And so, she slowed down and began to wait for the boy to get tired. She was surprised to see that Wonder stopped sooner than expected. He didn't see that there was a branch on the ground, tripped over it, and fell. The ball rolled free and Zegen took it very happily. Wonder was a little upset, because besides hearing his mother and sister laughing at his fall, he saw Zegen with the ball in her arms. "Give it back to me, it's mine!" His mother jumped out of her chair when she heard those words. "No, Wonder, it's not only yours. You must learn to share all your toys. That's something all siblings do." Finally, Wonder understood that he had acted very badly, so he apologized to his sister. She accepted by giving him a big hug. "Don't worry, we all make mistakes. You must learn from them to be better every day, though," their mother said. Then they resumed their activities in the garden. The hours went by and the night finally came. "All right, you two, your father will be home soon," their mother told them. "You'd better get inside the house." As usual, the twins obeyed their mother. They were very respectful to their elders. When they entered the house, Wonder was very hungry. "What's for dinner? My stomach needs a lot of food." "Relax, son. Your dad will bring pizza for dinner," said their mother. "We wanted to give you that present for the good grades you got in school." The siblings jumped with excitement when they heard those words. They loved pizza, but had not eaten one in a long time. They were very anxious for their father to arrive to eat together as a family. "I want Daddy to arrive. I want to eat that delicious pizza," said Zegen while looking out the window, very attentive to the arrival of her father. A few minutes later, the siblings saw the lights of their father's car approaching. They were very excited and came up with the same idea. "Let's scare him," they said at the same time and ran to hide behind the door. Soon they heard their dad approaching. They held their breath so he would not notice where they were hiding. When their dad opened the door, Zegen and Wonder jumped out of their hiding place, screaming at the top of their lungs. Their father, who was a very funny person, jumped in fright. "You're so mean! I almost dropped the pizzas on the floor." The children started laughing, then gave their father a big hug, welcoming him home. He gave them each a big kiss. Here's dinner. I hope you enjoy it. Wait for me at the table while I change my clothes. I have a big surprise for you, Zegen." "Another surprise? This is the best day of my whole life. Come on, Wonder, there is no time to lose." The boy obeyed his sister, and they ran to the table to prepare everything. After a couple of minutes, the children and their mother sat in the dining room with all the pizzas in the center of the table. Wonder, as usual, tried to take a slice, but his mother would not let him. "You can't do that, honey. The whole family has to be together. We have to wait for your father. Those are the rules." Wonder let out a small laugh and apologized for his behavior, and they continued waiting for his father patiently. A few minutes later, he came down to the dining room. Wonder asked his father if they could start eating. That question amused the man. "Of course you can, champ. Bon appetit to everyone." So the whole family began to devour the delicious dinner. As everyone was about to finish, Dad said, "Remember I told you I had another surprise? Well, listen carefully. I was surprised to see the good grades you guys got at school, so I decided to take you on a very special trip." Wonder and Zegen were excited. They had not traveled as a family in a long time, so they could not believe what they were hearing. "That's great!" Wonder exclaimed. Zegen was a little calmer. She knew that even though she was very excited, they would not start the trip at that very moment. Her father noticed the little girl's reaction. "We will be leaving in 2 days, so start preparing everything," he said. "We will go to a nice farm. We will stay there for the rest of the vacation. There are lots of games there that will keep you entertained and animals that you will have to take care of." That news cheered Zegen up because the little girl was a fan of animals. She loved taking care of them and giving them lots of love. "I'm so excited! I've never been to a farm. It must be so much fun to live with animals," said the adorable little girl as she devoured the last slice of pizza. After dinner, the kids cleared the table and took all the dirty utensils to the kitchen. They cleaned and put everything in its place. Their mother had taught them how important teamwork was. That is why they always did everything together. After that moment of cleaning, their father told them that they should have their belongings ready for the next day. He would send them ahead in another car so that the day of departure would be as comfortable as possible. The children obeyed immediately, so they went up to their rooms and began to prepare their bags. Wonder was very simple. The boy packed what seemed to be the most important things for him. He kept all the clothes he thought necessary, plus a lot of toys and balls that he would play with every day at the farm. On the other hand, Zegen packed her clothes very neatly, leaving a space in the suitcase for a small book that she used to carry everywhere. It was a book of bedtime stories her mother used to read to her every night. After finishing packing, the siblings left their rooms to hand their belongings to their father, who was very surprised to see how fast his children had been. "Impressive! I can see you are looking forward to the day of the trip. So you really did like the surprise," exclaimed the happy man, and then left their belongings at the entrance of the house. The next morning, the twins woke up very early because they wanted to make the most of the hours they had left at home. After putting on their clothes, they went down to the dining room and met their mother. She was preparing breakfast. Wonder greeted his mom with much excitement. "Hello, Mother. What a joy to see you on this nice morning." Mom greeted him back with a sweet kiss and a big hug. "Your father is outside loading our luggage into the wagon that will deliver it to the farm. Go with him while I finish breakfast." They ran out of the house after hearing their mother's words. Their father was saying bye to the man in the car carrying the suitcases. Zegen was the first to greet her father. "Hi, Daddy. Did they take our stuff already?" Her father replied with a smile on his face. Yes, Princess, they're already taking it. Then tomorrow we'll start the trip, right? Wonder asked. His dad looked at him and said, That's right, champ. Tomorrow we will head to the farm very early. The twins jumped with excitement and then went into the house. Their mother had prepared a delicious breakfast for them, so they would have energy all afternoon. After lunch, the children decided to read a little. They did not want to hurt themselves playing outside, because that would mean they would have to cancel the trip altogether. But their father had other plans. Follow me, children. Let's go fishing to kill time. Zegen and Wonder quickly ran to the car. There were all the necessary tools for fishing. Seconds later, their father arrived, and they made their way to the lake. Wonder was very excited. He kept jumping up and down in his seat. I want to get there now! A few minutes later, father and children came across the beautiful lake. They walked to the dock. When they arrived, they took out their fishing rods and relaxed themselves. The day was spectacular. The water was very calm, producing a very beautiful atmosphere. Only the singing of small birds could be heard. Time flew, so father and children gathered everything and returned home, where their mother was waiting for them with popcorn for a family movie night. The children fell asleep in the living room because they were very tired. Their parents noticed what was happening and decided to take them to their rooms so they could sleep all night, because a long trip awaited them the next day. The next morning, Wonder was the first to wake up. He woke his sister up, and then they got dressed. When they were ready, the children went downstairs and headed for the kitchen, devouring the breakfast their parents had made for them because they were so excited they wanted to get to the farm as soon as possible. After cleaning the kitchen, the whole family got into the car to start the trip. The trip was very pleasant. They sang and played with each other all the way, which made the hours of the trip not boring at all. We've finally arrived at our destination, Dad announced after a couple of hours. This will be our home for the next few days. The children stuck their heads out of the window and realized they were at the farm. A few seconds later, their dad parked the car and allowed the kids to go explore the area. This place is great, Wonder said, standing outside the car. Look how many animals they have here. We should find out if there are more amazing things here, sis. Zegen listened to him and followed him everywhere. The place was great. It was a very cozy house with a backyard with lots of games. There was a huge trampoline that caught Wonder's attention, and he didn't hesitate 2 seconds to jump on it. This is the best vacation ever, he shouted. On the other hand, Zegen was walking carefully, observing everything around her, and she noticed a huge barn with many cows inside. The girl felt very happy because she loved animals, and she was looking forward to meeting her new friends. The little girl called her mother, who gladly answered the call. What's wrong, sweetie? I just want to meet the cows. Let's go visit them. Their mother loved to see her children happy, so she agreed to go to the barn on the condition that they would be there for only a short time, because she was very tired from the long journey. Zegen was very happy. She took her mother by the hand, and they walked together to the barn. When they entered, they came across dozens of cows that were in cubicles where they could eat to their heart's content. Around the cows, there was a lot of food. That showed that they took good care of them. Can we feed them? asked Zegen. No, honey, tomorrow we will. Today they ate a lot, her mother answered. The girl was a little discouraged by that answer, but she trusted her mom, and they both went back to where Wonder was to make sure he was not getting himself into trouble. When the siblings were together, Wonder said, Sister, this place is wonderful. "We have this garden for the two of us. There are lots of flowers of all colors, a toy castle, and this huge trampoline. Come up and jump with me." Zegen nodded and quickly climbed onto the trampoline. The kids were having a lot of fun. That moment they were living was a very exciting experience. Time passed and they didn't realize that the sun was going down. Their mother told them that they should go inside the house because the food was ready, and the kids listened to her. As they entered, they noticed that their father was preparing delicious marshmallows for them to eat for dessert. The children tasted the food very happily and told their parents all about what they had done on their first day of vacation. But Zegen was not very happy because she had not played with the cows in the barn. Her father promised her that they would visit the cows the next day and would help them both with all the chores. They had to learn how to clean the barn, and they had to feed the cows. That news made Zegen very happy, so she and her brother went to sleep to replenish all their energy. The next morning, Dad woke up his children to go to the barn. The little twins put on their work clothes and did not take a minute to go to their daddy. He put some nice hats on them to help protect them from the sun. Their dad handed them a huge bucket of feed for the cows while he encouraged them. "Come on, help me carry it." After that, the little twins followed their dad quietly to the barn, pretending that they were actually carrying the bucket. When they were there, their father explained how they should feed the cows so that they would be satisfied. Wonder quickly understood, so he dumped all the food on the ground for the lovely cows to eat as much as they wanted. Zegen did not take long to follow her brother and helped him spread the food so they could feed all the cows. The kids were amazed at how big they were. They were also pretty harmless, so they took advantage of the moment when the cows were eating to touch them. Zegen was the first to pet one of the animals. She was very scared at the beginning and took her time to touch the nose of one of the cows. Wonder copied her actions, and the whole place was filled with a placid atmosphere. After this, their parents tidied up the barn while the little ones went to the house in search of more food. After placing it in the buckets, they both slowly returned to give the last batch of food to the cows. When that beautiful moment was over, their mother said to them, "I have a great idea. Would you like to play on the swings next to the trampoline?" The kids loved that plan, so they started running towards the swings. When they were there, the children sat on the swings while their parents stood behind them so they could push them. The day was wonderful, but finally, night had come and no one had noticed. Everyone was having the time of their lives. A few hours later, the children's father prepared a campfire. He invited his family to sit on the ground to watch the stars. They all loved the idea, so they surrounded the fire for a while, and later went happily to bed. Nothing could go wrong. They were a very close family. They had learned to appreciate every simple moment that life gave them. The hours went by and the darkness became more intense. That made the little children sleepy, but before falling asleep, they expressed their gratitude to their parents. "Thank you for bringing us to this place. This will be the best vacation of our lives." The twins fell into a deep sleep that would serve to replenish all their energy for their next adventure.